The tremendous power that lies within you is going to be explored today, my friends, and it will be one of the most life-altering revelations that you will ever hear. Every one of us has latent potential, a source of strength and aptitude that when not used may be devastating. You don't have to go looking for this kind of power. It's already inside you, waiting to be released. Just think about the possibilities that would open up for you if you harness this latent ability. Think of all you're capable of accomplishing, all your aspirations you could make a reality, and all the challenges you could conquer. Belief is the first step on the path to unleashing this potential. Belief in yourself, your abilities, and the boundless possibilities that lay ahead. Many people find themselves in relationships with people who are addicted to mediocrity and let their actions affect their own, leading them to follow the herd. Many people have things they want to do. Many people choose not to do it because they let their lack of self-assurance paralyze them. It was a painful concept that plagued me for years when I wanted to start my own business. I didn't think I could succeed, therefore I wouldn't even attempt. I want you to choose one thing out of the 5 things you would like to accomplish if you had the bravery to do it. Choose one and learn how to set it up such that it can help you become free and unstuck. What would be the worst outcome if you did it? What is the worst case scenario? For example, taking a chance on something you've always dreamt of doing but haven't done for whatever reason, like starting your own business, changing careers, or getting divorced. What is the worst case scenario? Act as though the worst has happened. Now, you record those items when you do the worst case scenario. The worst scenarios that you worry about would occur. What are you frightened of that you name and use to get control over your fears? Give it a name so that you can review it, write it down, face your fear. What's that? I worry that things could turn out okay. Les, what else? I have never worked in the business world. All right, Les, what else? I don't have all the support I require. All right, excellent. Les, what else? I'm not rich enough. Okay, excellent. Les, what else? How come? I'm not a college graduate. Ah, that's right. What more is there? I'm not quite as talented as those other guys I've seen speaking up there. All right, what more is there? That's all that comes to mind at the moment. All right, excellent. That advances you to the following phase. What advantages exist? What are the advantages of your bold actions and daring to face life? Well, part of what happened was that even though I made a lot of blunders when starting my own business, I felt better about myself and had a strong feeling of self-respect. I was hard on myself at times. I felt foolish because business people questioned why someone would take such action. I was ignorant. You are such a moron, boy. However, I also had to tell myself that I succeeded. Yes, I did. I accomplished it. Even if I made a complete mess of it, I jumped at the opportunity. I made the move. What are the advantages of your brave actions? Once you've determined what the benefits are, list them and concentrate on them. Pay attention to the advantages rather than the drawbacks or your worries. Pay attention to the advantages. Your conscious thoughts have a tendency to materialize. Consider how wonderful you feel. Imagine how much more self-worth and self-respect you will have. Imagine how amazing it will feel to wake up in the morning and look in the mirror because you are taking life head on. The other is to face your worries head on and take appropriate action. Feel the fear and do it regardless is the title of this book. And that's it. You see, I think that everyone who has ever taken a chance or done something doesn't necessarily mean that they are fearless. Fearless doesn't imply the lack of fear. Being brave, in my opinion, is being willing to act on your feelings and proceeding with the action regardless of the consequences. Your worries and anxieties won't stop you in your tracks. You acknowledge, all right, I'm terrified now, all right, what action do I have to take? Feel the fear by all means, but don't allow it to stop you from acting on your current course of action in life. Does it satisfy your needs and fulfill your desires? Is there a part of you that says, hey, I know I need to be out there in that arena? When you look toward the future and at all that's happening here, I'm confident that I'm capable of more. I'm sure I have some amazing songs inside of me that I haven't shared yet. Are you starting to examine that within yourself? You owe it to yourself to make a change. If you look at your life and realize that you're not receiving what you want, If you work, it's said that 85% of Americans are not pleased with their jobs. It's not giving you what you want if you spend 8 hours a day doing something you detest. You're not experiencing a great sense of fulfillment and satisfaction from it. You're not happy. You detest having to go there. Even just thinking about it makes you sad. Every week you sing the song, "Thank God It's Friday." Even thinking about it is giving you headaches. You owe it to yourself to start carefully planning to alter course on Sunday afternoon after the football game, if that's what it is. You see, though, what will happen to most people. The majority of people will oppose change. The majority of people will oppose change if they believe it will worsen their current situation. There comes a time when pursuing a desire, something changes. And this is the changeover, is what pursuing the dream is making you into. Because even if your desire is not realized, it will still transform your life and make you a stronger, more powerful person. You can look at something else and decide, well, I think I'll go do this then. Because you've grown to be so competent and self-assured in dealing with life's challenges that you can seamlessly transition into other endeavors. You truly understand how you have been granted power and control over everything on earth, including every aspect of your life, once you start to explore who you are. However, you can only achieve that by life struggles. And most steer clear of the conflict. Most individuals avoid pain in their lives. And something inside of you perishes when you live your life in that manner. There's something dormant within of you that you never get a chance to draw upon because you've never challenged yourself. Somebody once stated that most individuals prefer to feel like kings in their comfort zones, and that the kingdom of familiarity belongs to the dead. According to Osborne, people are only interested in doing what they are skilled at. If you don't try to learn something new, you'll never advance. You must thus place something out here that is difficult for you to attain if you want to start growing. That should stretch and inspire you to reach for it. I've got to force you to retrace your steps and get serious so you can make a bold move. It is possible that you will miss it and land on your knees before returning and breaking your lip the next time. But you persevere, and in the process, you develop the ability to jump higher. You begin pushing yourself to learn more. And as a result, you learn things about yourself that you were unaware of at the time and uncover hidden skills. I used to only speak to children, but these days I also give speeches at businesses. I'm on the road right now. I didn't know I was capable of doing this, but I would not have given myself the chance. I'm telling you to do the same. And now for something different. I think it's critical that you start believing in yourself if you want to start creating the life you want for yourself. Pay attention to yourself. Pay attention to the quiet little voice inside of you. Avoid attempting to make sense of everything. There are certain aspects of life that defy reason. You can never truly predict how anything will turn out. That life takes on a completely new meaning if you start to trust your ideas, instincts, and yourself. Since you're being guided, that is what I want you to do now. I simply sense that I am being guided. I can still clearly recall the worst speech I've ever delivered. I gave in to a fear that had been plaguing me for years. I had a severe case of inferiority because I didn't go to college. This guy said, "Let me write this speech for you." Knowing this, you have a speech scheduled at Ohio State University. Those folks are highly educated, therefore they will be able to tell when you make grammatical mistakes as well as that you are illiterate based on the content of your speech. You are important to me. I want you to avoid making a fool of yourself. This guy then went on to compose a speech for me. I was thinking about a speech, but this other individual outweighed my own positive and bad thoughts, and I ceded my authority. I gave this individual permission to lead me toward doing something I really didn't want to do. However, I lacked the inner fortitude and conviction to keep to my principles on my oratory abilities and the message I had to deliver. Because I'm not used to reading, I stood up at the Ohio Union and read this speech whole through without moving or taking my eyes off the paper. I read it really well, and even though I was frightened and uncomfortable, some people gave me a standing ovation when I was done. Gentlemen and ladies, hold on to your authority. Nobody has to agree with your dream for it to be real. You were handed it. It wasn't given to them if they are unable to see it. You were handed it. Retain it. Give it nourishment. Develop it. Put effort into it. You own it. It's your child. Continue working on it until it is completed. I promise not to do that anymore after giving up my control. For those who managed to make it today, here's something else. Follow your conscience. Consider others as you would like to be treated. Never attempt to cut corners. Try not to be dishonest. Make your upfront payments. Ladies and gentlemen, in my opinion, you get what you give. You have two options. Pay now or pay twice later. Thus, act morally. Because of the negative aspects of our consciousness and our ingrained programming, there may occasionally be a tendency for us to feel as though we did it on purpose. It won't be significant. No one will be aware of it. All things are important, ladies and gentlemen. You are aware of your significance. You know, I'd rather miss out on my dream than take the easy route and fail to achieve my objective. Like you, I want to be able to look in the mirror and see myself. There's no rule that says to judge a man by what he doesn't have to do rather than by what he does. And when no one is looking, how do you assess a man's genuine nature? You see, there's good things in the universe that are just waiting for you. No one can take your good either. Your name is on it. Nothing can be taken from you. It belongs to you. You don't worry then, because you know that whatever it is that you're seeking, it is also seeking you. You don't flee in fear. You don't believe that it will be taken from you. You always choose the moral high ground and pay attention to your inner guidance. The low road will always be the default option, driven by innate tendencies. You have to push against that. If you would like to attend today, I would like you to complete one additional thing. B. Adhere to your agreements. Respect the commitments you make and create a network of others who share that intention. Create a support system of individuals in your life that you can rely on to be there for you when you need them and for you to be there for them. The other point is that you are pursuing your dream. Many have called me and said, "Hey man, I read about you. You're lucky, boy. It's inevitable." Let me tell you something, ladies and gentlemen. Here's something else. 3 qualities you need to possess in order to pursue your goals and fulfill your life's work are patience, persistence, and positivity no matter what. For 2.5 years, I called John H. Johnson to get published in that journal. When I phoned him the first time, he refused to talk to me. I was then adamant about finding out who knew him and could extend an invitation for me to see him or give me a chance to chat so he could hear me. And I said, "Hey, I'd like to talk to you guys for free. I just want to know, will he be in the audience?" To a guy who worked for him. They acknowledged. All right. He said, "Hey, young man, you're quite impressive." When I finished speaking and trying to rip the microphone apart, "My crew will write an article on you." I thanked Mr. Johnson and forwarded him my Federal Express information, and it never took place. A month passed and nothing happened. After 2 months of waiting, nothing happened. Every month I stopped making calls. "Hi, and how are you today? Could I talk to Mr. Johnson, please? I apologize, but he isn't available. Inform him that Les Brown is phoning. I would want to express my gratitude for the essay." As soon as he put it in, I continued to do it, to call, to send fresh articles, to update the information about myself, to keep calling, and to send him thank you notes. I'm grateful, Mr. Johnson. I was upbeat all the time. I may have received a negative response asking, "Where did you lie to me? Why? Will you now tell me that you promised to include me in the magazine but didn't?" I might have adopted the mindset that no matter what, ladies and gentlemen, if you are negative, you are blocking your good and putting out negative energy. So don't take it personally and don't send out any negative energy. I was indifferent to his opinion of me. Every employee said I was a bother to them. They deal with folks like me for a living. You know, a lot of individuals start with a dream or an idea and give up on it. Don't do that, please. Until your dream becomes hot, work on it. You see, most things take longer to occur than we anticipate. You can receive a visit from the messenger of suffering. You could get a head shake from Murphy's Law. Several things could occur and break your flow. It's all right, keep it in perspective. Just admit the situation as it is. We call it life. And never stop pursuing your ambition. Keep knocking and keep knocking. Knock again, for this is your life. You adore this. You're passionate about this. Retrace your steps. Don't evaluate it. Should you judge it? Not until you are judged, that is. Why? Because you attach emotion to it when you appraise it. Anger may be one of such feelings. And what do you know? You feel hurt by that. It doesn't do harm to other people. A physician once stated, "The man who enrages me kills me." He then had a severe heart attack after allowing someone to provoke a fight on the National Medical Convention floor. Anger causes your blood to become so acidic that if someone took some of your blood and put it in a pig, the animal would perish from the acid. What reason do you have for leaving early? Through internalizing concepts. Shakespeare once remarked that nothing is nice or bad. One makes it that way by thought. Therefore, make your own judgment and feel that everything will work out for you, since you are tenacious, patient, and upbeat no matter what. Don't base your decisions on how you appear. You shouldn't let other people, things, or situations dictate how you will respond. The individuals around me became irate with the nasty and uncourteous server we had when we went out to eat with several people. I gained the ability to observe life. I believe that you have to learn to watch life in order to overcome it. Simply take a step back, observe what's happening, and decide not to believe it. "Excuse me, ma'am," I said. "Do you know what TIP stands for?" I asked. "No," she replied. "TIP means to ensure promptness," I said. It had been a while since we sat down. "To guarantee a timely supper, I would like to send you $5 in advance. Could you help me?" She grinned broadly and answered, "Of course I will." "By the way, I'm not with these individuals," I said. "I will be seated at a different table. Put my dinner over there, please. Serve them on their own. See, I don't want to enrage someone who cooks for me in a private setting. Oh no. Therefore, don't let other people dictate how you will react to them or the situation. Acquire the ability to observe it." One of my friends, Tom Perkins, is a well-spoken, attractive man in his mid-50s. He had a very successful business. Additionally, someone was killed in his company during the height of his prosperity. After being sued, he lost $750,000, lost everything, his home, his family, his business. Gentlemen and ladies, he was saddened. He made his automobile his home. He would say, "Les, I was so depressed," as he washed up in a McDonald's on Georgia Avenue in Washington, D.C., across from Howard University. "I had everything," he declared. "And then I lost everything one day. I didn't want to live anymore," he declared. He took more than 35 sleeping pills after receiving some. He said he went to sleep to die as he lay down and folded his hands across his chest. To his astonishment, he awoke 2 days later. Not even he could get that correctly. "What happened then, Tom?" I asked. He said, "A remarkable thing occurred." He stated, he claimed that while he laid there for a while, a voice in his head told him that it wasn't his life to take. That was one aspect of it. Ever since that day, he remarked, "I don't take any significant obstacles personally. I sense that there is someone with me. I'll never leave you or forsake you," he declared. "Hey," he said, "God, you have to take care of this for me." I said, "For me, this is too much. I don't worry about life's obstacles," he added. "Please repeat after me. It's all tiny stuff. So don't worry about the little things." See, you wouldn't be concerned about your bills, ladies and gentlemen, if someone called you right now and said, "Listen, you have 2 days to live." You're going to check out, so you won't be worrying about whether or not someone loves you or is cheating on you. So consider the big picture. Here's something else Tommy mentioned, which I believe is crucial. He claimed that the voice also promised to give him far more than he has ever lost if he changed his ways. Take a look at your current life. You must be willing to alter your behavior if you want to continue doing what you're doing and receiving what you're getting. Your life is functioning. If you're unhappy with the work you've done, you are the star and the director. You produced this and authored the script for it. You produced it, whatever it is that becomes a smash. In case it fails, it was your creation. Accept responsibility for it and make the decision to start over and rewrite the story in which you play the lead role. Today is the day you have the ability to achieve that. You can say, "I'm going to make a change." You may conclude when you reflect on your life that you'd rather be somewhere else since you're not happy with what you made here. I'd like to start feeling more love. I wish my life was filled with more adventures. Something that offers my life purpose is what I'm after. Greetings, ladies and gentlemen. I have been chosen to oversee Project Life, a Chicago-based initiative that trains thousands of children, and I was there. Our second meeting was held on Monday of this week. And to see these youth when they arrived, as well as youth and their parents in the neighborhood, volunteers when they left, and one young guy who didn't want to be there, a young man from the Cabrini Green Housing Projects, who approached and said, "I want you to know I'm so glad to be here." "I'll never be the same again," he murmured. "Thank you, Mr. Brown," he said. "I must go now, sir, but thank you," he said. "Never again will I be the same." To view a letter I received on Monday morning from a young man who was incarcerated at the Cook County Jail where I work. Furthermore, this young man will spend at least 50 years behind bars, 50 years or more. They granted him 100 years. We are aware of at least 60 shots fired by this man, at least 10 of whom were fatalities. In his letter, he also stated that although he has not changed, he feels like a new person after listening to your cassettes. A majority of these young men are there to commit murder. We intended to train both individuals outside of jails and those incarcerated as part of a frequent attack. Because in my opinion, if you treat them like animals in their cages and let them roam the streets once every 22 months, they will eventually escape and behave like animals again. So we decided to adopt a strategy. My life is given to me by this. I felt amazing, even if this might sound crazy. Ladies and gentlemen, if it is possible to accept it, I think this is the decade of consciousness. This is the decade of consciousness, if you will, is what I think. A moment when we can start to imagine in people's thoughts the notion, the potential for us to build a society with greater compassion, the potential for us to foster relationships with greater love, understanding, and communication. The potential for fostering in our multicultural society an appreciation for variety and diversity. The potential to start cultivating an attitude that will highlight people's best qualities, inspire them to reach their greatest potential, and help them realize their aspirations. We were born for this moment. We showed up for it. We survived 1 out of every 9 million sperm. And we have been selected for this amazing work. If we can start to perceive and imagine it happening in this decade of consciousness, and that we can all play a part. There's another thing to notice here, no matter where you stand on the life ladder. And I was reading The Power of Positive Living, the most recent book written by Dr. Norman Vincent Peale, which is, in my opinion, his best work. And he includes a part titled Comeback Power in it. Believe it or not, my friends, you have limitless power within you. It is the engine that can power you through the hardest obstacles and towards your loftiest goals. Belief is the key that unlocks this ability. Realize that you can do much more than you ever thought possible. Get out of your comfort zone, take a few baby steps toward challenging yourself, and seize possibilities for personal growth. When you challenge yourself, you unlock more of that latent strength. Keep an optimistic outlook. Look for ways to motivate yourself, and keep in mind that every obstacle is really an opportunity for growth. No matter what challenges you encounter on your path to self-discovery and empowerment, remember that your inner strength is greater. You are capable of overcoming any obstacle because you are strong, resilient, and determined. The most important thing is to keep going, to keep believing, and to keep not giving up. Embrace your inner strength and allow it to propel you to achievements you never imagined. Unleash your inner strength, unlock your full potential, and unleash your inner power beyond your wildest imagination. Unleash your full potential right now. Embrace your power and watch your life change. If you have faith in yourself, act and see how doors open for you that you never thought possible, you will be amazed. You have the ability to do big things. All you have to do is tap into it. Being the person you were always intended to be and living the life you dream of are both within your reach. This is your chance. Don't waste it.